Welcome to Positive Filter with your host, Philip Wilkerson, a podcast that focuses on friends, family, health, and career with a little self-help around the way. Please join me in this journey for self-improvement, and I hope that what I have to share will make you a better person, thus making the world a better place. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's Philip Wilkerson, a.k.a. the Prince of Positivity, a.k.a. Ill Phil, a.k.a. I got Austin, Texas tattooed on my leg. That's a random story for another day. But I am joined by a very special guest. Every guest is special to me because I know they bring a lot of insight and wonderful knowledge. But I'm joined by Miss Lisa Cox. Now, I'm going to just read off her bio real quick for the listeners. Lisa is a business owner of her own company, Live Clean Lisa. And what I'm going to read a little bit off of her bio is that she's been married for 30 years. She is raising two beautiful and successful daughters in the industry. She's doing direct sales, and she started selling products which she loved back in 96, but then made it her full-time job in 2000. She's a multi-million, $1 million. So she's not a thousandaire. She is a millionaire. She's a multi-million-dollar earner, and is a student advocate for health, fitness, and clean living. And so that's just a little quick spiel about her. But I'm also going to let her do a little bit. So Lisa, thank you for joining us. Can you give the listeners a little, beyond that little brief bio that I read about you, any other details about yourself that you'd like to share with the listeners?
Absolutely. Thank you. Hello. Well, I guess one of the things I'll say is I started really young and dove into being an entrepreneur. And so I guess one of the things I'd like to share is I feel like over all these years, being my own boss, I feel like I have some really fun words of wisdom to share to anyone that is thinking about being their own boss, wanting to be their own boss, hoping one day they'll be their own boss, and just don't know where to start. And I chose the direct sales route, but I also feel like I can give you some fun and easy tips that can help you in any type of entrepreneurial situation. So that's one of the main things I do is I help coach people to have success, to make a little bit or a lot of money, and do it within their lifestyle that they're trying to maintain.
I love that. So I love the aspect, obviously this is Positive Filter. The main point about this podcast is about how to infuse positivity and well-being in the everyday life. You know, I know a lot of people think they read about it or hear about being positive, and they think it's some, luxury, or it's really hard, and it's very, the main point of my podcast where I started this was that the average Joe, such as myself, anyone can practice well-being and positivity. But you have brought that idea of well-being and positivity into the business mindset, bring it into the values of your company. But I was very, very interested. What is clean living, and how do you explain what clean living is for someone that doesn't know anything about clean living?
Okay. Well, some people say, oh, I couldn't do clean living. I like to have a glass of wine every once in a while. Well, it's not about not having a glass of wine. What it is surrounding yourself with the best, cleanest products for your environment and your body, and it's your lifestyle and how you're living your life. And I'm a huge advocate for moderation. I believe that you can move up every level in your life. And clean living is also bringing up your mindset and your belief, and it's what's happening in between your ears, also what you're putting in your mouth, what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. So Live Clean Lisa is my brand, but I represent a beautiful company called Modere that has Live Clean products for your home and for your health. And we specialize in a beautiful collagen product, the most absorbable collagen in the market. So a lot of young people love the collagen for joint health and for muscle building, and also for their skin. But then also people that are a little bit older, like myself. I'm 51 now, and We're taking the collagen for our skin, of course, and just keep our youthful glow and things like that. So that's sort of the products I represent, but the whole Live Clean Lisa represents sort of being the entrepreneur of your whole life and your whole body, taking responsibility for all the areas that you can. And I don't mean trying to be perfect. What we're after is not perfection. What we're after is trying to level up in as many areas as possible. So if you're doing really good in your relationship area, you've got great relationships, but your body's unhealthy, you're not working out, you're not drinking water, you're not reading and learning and growing, then you're going to get off kilter pretty fast, and the relationship will suffer. And so my belief is that we can work on these areas and just try and step up and level up when we can in all these different categories. And I help people have just ways to do that, and then also show them how to earn a great extra side income or full-time income doing what I do.
I love that, but I'm saying, and I love the average Joe thing. So I'm not going to play devil's advocate, but I am. So one of the things I've noticed, a lot of people that make excuses about that clean living, as you said, in all the different categories, is that I don't have a lot of money to invest in the clean foods. Like as you notice, sometimes it's way easier to get a cheap McDonald's meal than one. It's cheaper and it's easier to get because you don't have to cook than to actually get vegetables and fruits and then actually prepare that. So what do you tell to someone in a small sense? Like, I don't have a lot of money or a lot of time. I'm a parent. I got 2 kids. What do you tell someone that wants to start this clean living lifestyle with limited resources in regards to limited money and limited time?
That's such a good question. And I get that question a lot. So number one, it's a choice. Whatever restaurant you're in, however cheap or inexpensive or expensive that it is, it's a choice on what you choose. You can go to the most expensive restaurants in the world and put the worst thing possible in your mouth. You can go to McDonald's and get a salad, but people don't make that choice. It is definitely a choice. You can get a dang cheap salad at McDonald's. You sure can. And it's healthy. It's a good salad. But it is all a choice. And then are you going to choose the ranch or the Italian? That's a choice too. And you're going to have a whole different calorie deal if you choose the ranch. And so, definitely in my mind, I believe that it is a choice. I also look at it like this. People who will spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a medication because they've let themselves get sick because they're not taking care of their bodies. They don't think twice about paying for the medicine, but yet when they want to get, some healthy greens or maybe a healthier soup that's a little bit more expensive than a cheeseburger, to me, they're making a choice right there, where their priorities are. And so I do think it's all about priorities. And that's probably why I've had fabulous success in business, is because it's a priority on what you do in life as well. Like for you, it's a busy time of year right now, and you're taking time to do your podcast interviews. I'm sure you have, so much work that you have to do and studies and all the different things that you're involved in, Philip, but you're making a choice to make yourself better for the future. And so it's kind of like a little movement, it's like baby steps. We can do a baby step one day and say, I'm going to choose the salad today. Even if I have to eat a Taco Bell something tonight, I'm going to choose the salad today. And tomorrow I'm going to choose the salad. And the next time I'm going to choose the salad. Well, if you choose the Taco Bell, 10 tacos today and tomorrow the next day, what's going to happen? It's all going to add up. So, it's definitely going to compound one way or the other.
I was about to say that word. I was about to say that word, compound. Yeah.
Or the bad way.
I think that's true. It's like preventative health saves you money in the long run, right? Obviously, especially as a young Black man, we have the lowest life expectancy due to heart disease and stress and all that stuff. So I realize the investment in well-being and mindset and yoga is saving me long-term effects of going to the hospital when I'm 60 years old, taking all this blood pressure medicine and all that stuff. Right. I'm doing little things today. So I agree with that. It's almost like you have to have that long-term mindset for the small-term goals. Is that correct? Right. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's exactly right. That is so smart and wise of you to notice that. I think that many people don't learn that till they're well past my age, and many people never learn it. I see people, my age that it's almost like they've given up already. they're getting very large, and their health is at risk, and they're not in movement ever, and they're just sedentary, and they don't know why they don't feel good. And it's certainly not like, again, it's not about perfection. It's about doing the best you can every day to make those right decisions to help you have the best results in the future.
I think that's like what me and my cousin are going to do a podcast about. It's called like micro decisions that have a macro effect. Obviously the small things, like you said, like the one little thing, going for a walk here and a choice over a couple, if you chart your miles, you walk thousands of miles, but you only took a couple steps. You didn't think about it like that. I love that. I love the fact that one of the things we said this earlier, you are a millionaire, not a thousandaire, right? You making money, but how in this world of making money do you particularly stay value-based, where obviously a business, the point of a business is to make profits, to sustain, to make money, but at not the expense. I ideally would say I want to make money, but not at the expense of my values, not at the expense of, quote unquote, selling out, taking money and deals to do this when it's not aligned with your values, but you need to make money. So how do you stay focused on profits, but at the same time stay true to your values?
Well, number one, I would never sell anything that I didn't use myself or love myself, or I wouldn't recommend or hand over to my own children. And so I've always aligned myself with a company that has the right products that are of quality and are true to what they say. And that's one thing that is, I have very high values and morals, and it's the utmost important to me, because just like, I would never, we have two daughters, they're grown now. One's 28 and one's 24. I would never give them one thing, and I never have in their life, that I myself wouldn't take. And so that's how I look at it. And so I think that a part of my success over the years has been because of consistency. Part of it's been because a lot of hard work, and a lot of hard work that I do when no one's watching. When we get to do fun interviews like this with people like you, it's fun to get to talk about it, but it's what you do when no one's watching that makes you a success or not. And so, that's a lot of it, the consistency and the hard work, and it's belief in my products, the company, and who I am. And so that's how I can go out there with a clear heart, sharing what I love to people. And on social media, our business is a social media business. So all we do is work on social media. So I work from my phone in my home, which is where I am now. And, that's all I do. And I make posts and of interest posts of talking about health and wellness and things like that. But then I also point them towards the products that I represent. And that's how I've made money. And I also go into it with a service mindfulness, so that I'm there to help people get better. Like, I want you to have success. I want your family to have success. I want you to feel good about your body and have the money in your bank account at the end of the month that you want. Things like that is what I focus on, not on my income.
Right. And then that comes later, right? I've learned from David Meltzer or anything, actually just in my life, when I committed to serving other people and being the best at helping others, then I've been more successful, just because then I got really good at what I was doing. And I got really good at what I was doing because I wanted to be the best at helping others. So having this altruistic mindset just kind of yielded other byproducts by happenstance, or not happenstance, but not directly correlated when you think about it, right?
That's right.
But I guess, like if you lead values based first, and then people trust you, then they'll give you more money, then it kind of compounds on each other.
Exactly.
Now, can you give an example, and not say the name, but can you give me an example where someone wanted to join in with you and you realized you had to stay firm to, maybe it was very lucrative and maybe it was going to be on paper a really good opportunity, but something in your gut, your intuition told you that they did not align with your values?
We've had some people in our company that have joined, not in my organization necessarily. So I am in direct sales. So I build a direct sales team or organization. And I may have over the years had someone that came in that tried to, cheat other people out of their business or things like that are inappropriate. And the interesting thing is if you're with the right company, the bad seeds weed themselves right out
Yeah, I
because
heard
they just
about that.
don't fit.
Yeah,
And of
yeah,
course, I am no one's boss in an
yeah.
organization like mine. They're all volunteer army. They're here working because they want to be their own boss as well. But I do have influence because I'm a coach and I train my team and I mentor my team. And so many times I've had to go to people and just say, this doesn't really align with our company. Our company's values are here and we have
Yes.
core values. And then typically if they're really not the right fit, they will go find another place.
And it's like that. I like that culture fit. Like you build the culture, and then sometimes I was reading The Power of Habit. Right, if you build a really sustainable, positive culture, then people start checking each other and keeping each other accountable. Like, yo, that's not what we do here.
That's
But
right.
and you don't even have to do nothing. It's almost like you said it and forget it, and people buy into that culture anyway. Like, yo, this is not what we do, and they kind of police themselves. Is that kind of the same mindset as you said? Like, yo,
Absolutely.
you don't even have to like be authoritative. You don't have to be an authority or a boss anymore. People just buy into that. That's the culture. And that doesn't align with the culture of what we do here.
That's exactly right. And you lead by example. If you want your team to work with ethics and morals and values, then you need to lead with ethics and morals and values, because that's what they're going to do. They're going to follow you. They're going to want to do what you do. If you treat people beautifully when you're in the room with people and you're kind and you look them in the eyes and you talk to them and you care about each individual person, then they will learn that that's what they should do as well to be a big leader.
I love that. So where do you draw your values from? Some people say faith, some, their faith. Some people say from, their parents, their upbringing, a combination of many things. I would say it's a combination for me, faith and family and just my friends who just supported me. Where have you drawn your values pre-business that kind of bled into your business? Where did you draw your values from?
100% absolutely my faith and my family would be the first place that I would start on that. I also have done a lot of reading in my years and just I've been following a lot of mentors and people in my life, not just my family, but and my sisters, but also, my team. I actually have been very blessed to be surrounded by a phenomenal group of leaders and that have been with me for a couple companies now. And we have moved like a river together. And I have some leaders with incredible values and morals and mentors above me. And so I've modeled probably my leadership style after many of those. And then I do have a very strong faith that keeps me aligned and I just won't work any other way. I love the happy atmosphere of what I get to do and what it brings to other people's lives. And I just want to keep continuing with that.
I love that. Lead with kindness, right? And then usually lead with kindness and usually people will follow you and then they'll work 10 times harder. So technically by leading with kindness, people become more productive just because they believe in you, they trust you, right? Yeah. So I'm very, very interested that when you had the big buckets of your clean living, they really are really good 4 different quadrants that you decided. So I see that you have life, food, fitness, and finance. How did you come up with those 4 as the main ones as your 4?
Oh, I just think because that's just the way that I probably project what we do the easiest is through those 4. Okay. And, for me, the ultimate goal is to help people have a better, happier life because that's what it's all about is the whole life. But I feel very strongly that to get there, you need to find some sort of balance in all those areas. And so I've worked really hard with a lot of people to basically do some self-evaluation and identify their own demons that are keeping them from success. Yeah. And a lot of people, they're like, I want to be a leader up here, but I can't get there. And for me, I'm watching them and I'm watching sort of this disrupted other categories of their life. And I can see exactly why they're not there. Because are you going to follow a leader that can't get their stuff together? No, you're not. You want to follow someone that is, has these areas pretty well balanced. It's never a perfect science, but so that is absolutely where I think people need to learn to do it. And here's the other thing. So I'm sure on this show, you've probably talked about the gig economy before. Have you ever talked about the gig
Well,
economy?
I work with students in the media arts and design. So I work with a lot of students that I tell them I always have a side hustle. Don't just wait for classroom learning. So if you're a student and you are studying photography, have that side hustle. So that gig, that be a photographer on Instagram and take people's pictures and get paid for it. So yeah, I definitely do acknowledge it in some form or fashion, because many of my guests have 9-to-5s, but have a lot of side hustles for sure.
Yes. Well, they say that there's 50 million people right now that are looking for a side gig to make a little extra money. And most of them would be satisfied with $500 a month extra.
Okay.
And so that's pretty huge. I mean, 50 million people. This is soon to be 8 million in the year 2020. 8 million people. I'm sorry, 50 million and 80 million.
Oh my goodness.
And so, yes. So all these people are looking for a little extra cash to supplement what they're doing, and they need it to happen within their lifestyle. So like, let's say they're a student and they have a job. They might still need a little extra money. So they're hopping in Ubers and they're driving Lyfts. They're doing little side things like that. Well, what we have found and what we're doing is we can not only help people just have success with their weight loss, help them feel better about their bodies and be healthier, but they can get out there and they can make this extra $500 is what most people are after. And you think that sounds like a little, but $500 can change someone's life a month.
Yeah, compound it. And also compound, I agree with you, compound $500 a month times it by 12. Not good at math, so don't ask me to do it now. But also add that to whatever bill that can knock out one bill that you have. That can knock off, that can chip away at your rent. That can
car payment,
yeah, for sure.
Diapers. There's young moms out there that they just need some diaper money. And so when I first got into this industry, I didn't have such a big vision of helping people with their whole life. My vision was, I just wanted some shoe money. I was a young mom. My husband he owned an auto body shop. We didn't have extra cash every single month that I could shop with. It was a treat. It wasn't an ordinary thing. And I just wanted some shoe money. I mean, can anybody out there relate with that?
Yeah, yes. I know some people that love. I got some sneaker heads, man. I got some homies that love to pay for Jordans and all that, and that's like $200. So
exactly. Oh my gosh, my son-in-law, he loves fancy tennis shoes, but that's what I started for. And when I did get into this industry, and I decided, okay, if I did this, and this month, and I talked to this many people, and this many people ordered, then I could have my shoe money. So that is why I started it. So what I love so much about what we have to offer is we have a business where instead of getting into an Uber and actually leaving your home, you could do a few things every single day. They can literally take 20 to 30 minutes a day on your social media, from your living room, from your office, from your school dorm, and you can actually make extra money. You can make I can't say how much you'll make because you can't make income claims. But what I can say is you'll make what you put into it. If
like Uber, like how many people you pick up is how much money you make.
Exactly.
Or with the gig economy, like if I told someone that had a side hustle business, you get as much money as how many weddings you shoot.
Exactly.
With your camera. So that's and then some of these, not what I'm hearing, but some of these obviously take different skills that you learn, right? Like Uber, you have to be a good driver or whatever, good safety record. Photography, to get photo clients, you got to prove yourself on Instagram that you take high quality photos, and you have to learn Photoshop. What are some of the tangible skills that you think are not intangible, but some of the skills that you look in that are good for salesmen? Outgoing, rapport building, what?
We have all different personality types that are in our business that have success. But I would say the people that do the best are the ones that are not afraid to share what they love. You've got to be able to talk to somebody. You have to, because you can't not talk about it and expect to get a result. The social media skills, anybody with good social media skills will kill it in our business, because I am, like I said, 52 years old. I did not grow up with a phone in my hand. I have had to learn, and actually I've had to hire people to help me with my Instagram. I mean, this year they've helped me get thousands and thousands of followers that I didn't have, because they have that skill. many young people your age know exactly how to do that yourself.
Right.
And so
with the hashtags and analytics and
yeah, exactly. If you know that kind of stuff, you are dead set to have success in a company like this, because what we're doing is we are just putting out, and we're not even putting it out there like grossly. We're just sort of subliminally talking about wonderful products to help you lose weight, or collagen that can help you stay young, or we have a new fitness line coming out for all these athletes, and we have all these athletes jumping on board in our company because we're going to have this pre and post workout that's phenomenal, all backed by science and doctors. And so we have all this stuff going on. And then what these people do is they throw a text out there or a post or a story that talks about what we have to offer. And they say, go to my link and check it out. Here's a $10 off coupon for anyone interested. So what I said there is the key to your question. Who can do this? Anybody that can say, here's a $10 off coupon if you'd like to try any of our products. If they can say that to a person, what happens is that person uses that $10 off code at the website, and that code immediately links them to that person, and then they get $10 off. Then the person that sent them the code will either get commissions or $10 back in free product, depending on if they're a customer also or if they're a social marketer. Yeah. So it's very simple. I hope I didn't make it too complicated. It's very simple, and it's just like Uber. If you start with Uber and you've never taken an Uber ride, if your friend gives you their code, they're going to get some free Uber, and you're going to get some free Uber. And
now,
so,
one of the things, and like I said, one of the things that, I think I appreciate about entrepreneurship is that you do it. One of the things is when they say, oh, to be an entrepreneur, leverage your own networks, right? Like leverage your family and friends. But then, this is me. I'm super friendly. I hate when this dude ain't talked to me since high school and they say, hey, Phil, how you doing? And oh, great. We about to reconnect. And then they hit me with some sales pitch. How do you advise someone to not be like that? Because that joke, I ain't gonna lie, that turns me off. Where I definitely think, because let me rephrase, I'm an entrepreneur as well. I'm doing career coaching and all that, and so I'm definitely want my family and friends to support me in my entrepreneur venture. But also, I don't want them to think I'm some sleazy person that's just reaching out because I got a business now. Like how do you balance leveraging normal relationships that you have without that sleazy feeling?
Okay,
that makes sense.
Oh yeah, such a good question. And that keeps a lot of people from ever doing what I do in my industry because they're afraid to do that. So what I tell people is this: when you first get started, I would find your family and friends and loved ones that will support you at whatever you're selling. If you're selling mud pies, then they're going to support you with buying a mud pie. And gotcha. I would go to them and I say everything with humor. Like I'm not a very serious person. Like I just like to have fun. Yeah. And people appreciate the realness. And I'll go to them and I'll say, okay, don't freak out. Okay, if I was brand new today, I would say, okay, don't freak out, but I have decided to sell this product that I am flipped out over. I love it. It's changing the way I feel. And I know that you love me already. Would you try it? That's what I would say. I would be as honest. I would even say, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be a gross salesperson, but just please, because you already love me. Okay, so I tell people, you know the people you can go to that are like that.
Ride or dies. Your ride or dies. Yes.
Ride or dies. That's right. Those people. But then you're going to have the people, like you said, that you like call it a high school friend you haven't talked to in 10 years or whatever.
Please don't do that.
You can go back. You need to build that relationship first. This is a relationship.
Yeah, please. Yes. Okay. Gotcha.
Please build it first. Do not go after them. Do not run across the parking lot and give a stranger an aspirin that doesn't have a headache, right?
Yes.
We wouldn't do that.
I love that. I love that aspect.
What I do is I build relationships, and by putting out good content. And if you go to my Instagram or to my Facebook, you'll see what I put out there mostly is good content about life, about mindset, inspiration, staying consistent, loving your body, loving yourself, things like that. It's not all throwing up my product on people. Yes,
I love that.
Most of the time, people come to me and they're
that's what I was about to say. I think what I'm hearing too is organically, if you do, like I said, I feel like it's the boomerang effect. If you just naturally cool, and people will come to you eventually and say, yo, what you doing? Or how are you doing this? I see you doing this. They'll come to you and say, what can I do? But I love the fact that you're not like, poaching people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or you also, like I said, I have, when you say, if I'm doing something new, for instance, anything like one of my homeboys, he did a stand-up show, his first stand-up show. He knows that he could just send it. He's not going to send it out to everyone. He's just going to say, hey man, Phil, I'm doing my stand-up. I'm super nervous. Can you come? But he knows he knows I would do that because I'm his friend. He wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do it to like, hey, I haven't talked to you since high school. Come to my show. They're going to be like, okay, who are you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's such a good point. But here's the thing too. So, there's many musical artists out there. There's some of them that I love that you would hate. There's some of them that you love that I would hate. Okay. So we're not going to want to buy everyone's music, but there's enough people out in the world that we're going to want to buy their music that are going to help them have success. So here's the thing. I put it out there every chance I get to the right people when I've built the right relationships. If they want what I have, awesome. But if they don't, guess what? I do. No big deal. No big deal. If you ever need anything, you know where to come. And then I keep moving forward. And that is sort of a thick skin sales thing that you have to learn no matter what you're trying to sell, what you're trying to promote. Trust me, life is hard and it's not going to always be all candy and roses because, you're not going to go out there and, I don't go out there every day and go, oh, will you like to buy some collagen at the Walgreens store? No, people are going to go, you're a freak, get away. Right.
Yeah.
It just happens over time, but I put in my time. And that's why I've had the success I've had is because I consistently put in my time with the right attitude and the right commitment and a smile on my face and laughter on my heart. And when people are hardcore no, I'm like, hey, full respect, hardcore no. Thank you for listening. I wish you all the luck. And if you ever change your mind or if you ever want to go to coffee, let me know. That's it. No hard feelings.
Gotcha. I like that. I like that too. I kind of use that same mindset for networking with my students. I say, shoot your shot when you do informational interviews. Send a message on LinkedIn saying, I'm very interested. Do you have 10 to 15 minutes of your time? Worst case scenario, they ghost you. They never respond. What happens with your day? Not really nothing. Like your day moves on. Best case scenario, you get a 10-minute conversation with someone and learn something new. So it's, that's going to be our motto for this podcast. Shoot your shot.
Yeah.
Shoot your shot 2020. And worst case scenarios, people just don't jump on board and you just kind of move on to the next.
I love it. I love it.
So I'd love to go back to it. You got the 4 pockets. How about for the listeners, what's one thing that you could do in each of those categories that's normal, down to earth, like for life? What's one tip you could do for life? Food, what's one tip you could do for food? Fitness, one tip you can do for fitness, and then maybe one tip you can do for finance. Just one very practical thing I can do today, like one micro thing that you tell someone they can do in each of those pockets.
Okay. Life, start your day off right. Okay. When I say that, give yourself time in the morning, even if it's 5 minutes to center yourself before you go out and attack the day. If that means you set your alarm 5 minutes early or 30 minutes early to do it. And there's a great book I'll recommend called The Miracle Morning. But, if you can start your day with 5 minutes, and you can, for me, it's prayer. It's a little bit of meditation. It's I write my gratitudes every single day. You'd be surprised at how much you have to thank God for every single day until you write them down. Sometimes I don't have enough room on the page, right?
Yeah, I have a 5-minute journal, and it makes me do that every morning. I love it.
Yes, I love that.
I love it.
And just so start your day like that. That's the one thing I recommend. All the strong leaders in this world take time to center their life before they start their day. Have that quiet time in your brain, okay? For food, one thing you can do today is take one thing out that you should not be eating every day. Now, just one thing, like even if it's one thing this whole year, take it out and don't eat it. So for me, I have to really watch my sugars because I have a sweet tooth. And so for me, my sugar is very restricted. And it's if I'm going to have a sweet or a sugar, it's going to be the best thing in this planet because it's going to be worth it. So take something out. If you're eating French fries every single day, maybe that's your thing to take out, or sugary drinks or soda pop. Just start with one thing, okay, to help your food healthier. For fitness, 20 minutes a day. If you can't do more, do 20 minutes a day of movement. Now, that can be walking to class. It can be lifting weights. It can be doing yoga. It can, whatever your body will allow you to do. You don't have to be Superman. You don't have to. But listen, do 20 minutes a day of movement and you will feel so much better. You'll get those extra steps. Your body will be able to work better and you'll be able to think better and you'll have more success. And then the last one on finance is this. First of all, most people do not have a reality check on where they actually are. So the first thing I think you need to do before you can actually start making changes is look at your finances and be realistic. Are you saving some of your money? Are you spending all your money? Are you living month to month? So you need to know exactly where you are. And then you need to find a way for whatever you're doing, whether that means to add your gig to to add a gig to what you're doing or to cut out some money where you're spending. Some people don't even know how much money they're spending every time they go out to eat or they go out to the bars on Friday night or they go out to a party and the money just flows out the window. But then when they need to pay for something important, they're like, I don't have any money,
Budget.
So if you could just take a real look at your finances. Something that my husband and I started doing really young is whenever we would save extra money, we didn't go buy something frivolous. We put every dollar we can back into real estate. And that's an area that I recommend, but you can choose where you want to make your investments one day. Right now, you might be like, I just want to pay the bills, and that's okay too. But there will come a day you're going to start making extra money. Don't go buy that Ferrari.
That depreciates value, right?
Really? Yes, something that appreciates in value. The Ferrari does not. Now, we have very nice cars. We've worked a long time to be there. But, wait and do that. Put your money into things that maybe you don't get to see the benefit for a long time. We have Airbnb properties. That's another side gig. And, we have different streams of income. So that's something on your finances that are important to shoot for. And if you're not quite there yet, then at least take a GPS. Where am I? Right.
I love it. GPS.
In my money.
Map quest your money.
That's right.
I love this. This is actually, I've learned, and I'm going to have to say shout out to Todd. I knew that, I never worry about who's going to be a guest on my podcast because I think he aligns the values that I have. That every time I've been on so far, I've had someone that he's referred to me.
Awesome.
He definitely aligns with the values and it's just a great conversation. Look, I can say I took notes. I be taking notes because I think this is great. So this is the part of the show, tricked you if you haven't listened before. It's called Shot for Shot. So I get to ask you any question randomly related to this or not, and you get to ask me any question related. Do you want to go first or I go first?
I want to go first.
Okay. What
are you doing right now to prepare for any change for 2020?
Well, I love that. I'm going to try to think about one of your 4 categories. And I'm going to go through it and see some things I'm actually doing. For life, relationships are very important to me. So what I do is I'm the maintenance of relationships. I'm actually like the glue of all my friend groups. So I'm just going to continue to not get in my feelings when I reach out to people and they don't respond back to me. Because I've learned over time, usually by me reaching out consistently, when the people finally reach back to me, I find out so much crazy things, like they were going through so much in life and they were just happy that someone consistently reached out. So I'm just going to stick with that. And I'm so organized about it that like I even set a phone reminder to say check in with, and I check in with all my friends. So
that's incredible.
I think for 2020 is to maintain that level of relationship building, but also in 2020 work on not getting in my feelings as much. Which I'm a big empath, but I'm also very sensitive. So that's something I'm working on. Now, food, one thing I need to take out, I love candy, so I'm probably going to work on it. That's going to be my thing. I can crush candy like no other. Sweet tooth like crazy.
Okay, what's your favorite candy?
I can't really, I have days where I feel like I want to eat fruity candy or chocolate candy. I love Starburst. I love gummies. I love Haribo gummies. Anything sweet like that. And then on the chocolate candy, I love anything with the combination of chocolate and peanut butter. So Reese's peanut butter cups, all that stuff. So I know what my demons are. I know if I see gummies, I'm crushing them. So I'm gonna work on just out of sight, out of mind. Just don't buy it.
Don't buy it, or allow yourself to have a sweet Sunday, like maybe one sweet on Sunday so that you don't deprive yourself of everything.
Yeah, I think a sweet day. I like that
A
sweet Sunday.
sweet day, because then you'll be able to maintain it longer. And that's the whole goal, is consistency and long-term maintenance of all of these goals.
Yeah, and then for fitness, I fell out. I ain't gonna lie. I used to be really into powerlifting. I used to have a deadlift of close to 575. I was super strong. I was doing it. I actually can't even use kids as an excuse. I was doing it when I had my first son, who was 4. But then once I had my second son, I'm off the Richter. So one of my goals next year is to really, I'm not trying to be a big powerlifter again. That's kind of done. But just get back into feeling like I was connected to some kind of fitness. The reason I'm not aesthetically motivated. Like I literally was not like, I don't care about having a 6-pack. I really don't care if I look the best. I like to just be comfortable in my clothes. But what was helpful for when I did powerlifting was that I had goals. I love like hitting numbers. So, when I was going to these competitions, I was like, yo, I'm a squat 450 and all this. I was setting numbers. So it's very hard for me. So I need to find some intrinsic motivation, because it's not based on aesthetics for me. And now I don't have competitions. So I need to find another way to get me motivated to work out, because I was actually just going to the gym, not because I love it. I just like to show off. I like to be on stage, like the platform.
Oh, wow.
It was like showing up. Like it gave me the sport feel. Like I like sports. So I need something like that.
Well, what about if you just did like a walk with your kids? You know what I mean?
Oh, I do that all the time. I mean, yeah, I definitely walk and all that stuff. I want to do something like beyond just walking, like something fitnessy, like really working out, like lifting. I just need to be motivated to lift when it's not. I need to be motivated to lift when there's no competition related. That makes sense.
I get it.
I loved it. I love lifting. I love lifting when I knew it was going to be to get me for game day. Like I used to get so fired up, mark my calendar, I used to do 8-week, 12-week training programs. And even when I didn't feel like lifting, I would go because I knew it was going to get me right for the competition. But when I don't have those competitions, it's really hard. And then finance, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to work on making a budget and really stick to it, because I got so many bills and things. But also, I love what you said is I'm also going to think about, not one-to-one, right? One revenue to one expense going out. I need to have more streams. I do invest in stock and stuff. I just need to be more organized about it. So I'm definitely going to take a reality check. I love that. So I wrote that. So I actually love that you gave me a basis to think about my next year in an organized structure with those four pockets.
I'm so glad.
All right. I love it. So I know your business has a mission statement. All businesses have mission statements. But my question for you is, what is your mission statement for life? And can I give you an example? Mine is that no matter what, I want to lead through helping others and making the world a better place I want to make it better when I leave than when I came here. So that's literally my mission statement. No matter in what capacity I do things in this world, I help someone, I made someone's life better. And that when I pass away, whether marginally or big, I wasn't a drainer on this world. I contributed. Like I add value to this world. So that's my life mission statement.
That is an incredible, incredible vision statement. I love that. I would say for me, it is to help people stop living a suboptimal life. I want them to step up into their own greatness, because I feel like everyone has it within them, but for whatever reasons, they're not willing to work at it, or they're not willing to put it out there because they have a fear. And so I want to help people be the entrepreneur of their entire life.
I love that.
And to where that they're growing in all these different areas and finding more great happiness in areas because things are just leveling up and leveling up. So I would love to help people stop living suboptimally. And I find it all the time. I don't know about you, but so many people, when you say, how are you? They say, I'm fine. And they're really terrible stuff going on. They don't have any money, or they don't have any happiness, or they don't have any joy. And so for me, it's like, how can we help people unlock what's in there to push them out of that uncomfortable zone? They're not comfortable, they're uncomfortable, but and to live a better life. And for 2020, I want people to like release their joy and not like, let their joy be heard, and let people be out there sharing, where they're so happy because they've gotten better, or they feel healthier, and don't quiet their joy is something that I'm thinking about as just kind of my wording for 2020.
I love that. Actually, I should have said shot for shot, but you invoked me to ask another question because it's such a great episode. If you were to go like tomorrow, they say, you're going to pass away tomorrow, but we give you 3 life lessons. This is it. These are 3 life lessons that, and I stole this from Lewis Howes. I love his show.
I know Lewis. I know. I recognize it.
I love that. So I love that question. So like I said, that time capsule, these are the 3 lessons. What are the 3 that, if I have to go today, I want the world to be able to know that this is what I stood for? What are those 3?
Number 1, things don't matter. People do. At the end of the day, nobody at the hospital is asking for their Porsche.
Yes,
they want their mom and their sister and their husband and their wife and their children with them. I think number 2 would be learn to love yourself first, and learn that as soon as you possibly can, and love yourself just the way you are. Whether you're powerlifting, Phil, or you are non-powerlifting Phil, love you for exactly where you are, because you're perfect the way you are. And number 3, I didn't plan this ahead, so I think number 3 goes back to something that you said, and that is be kind to other people. We don't know how much people are suffering, and if we could just give kindness out every chance we get, then I think that we would get more kindness back.
I agree with that. And it's also, I think too, like what you said, kindness is reciprocal. Eventually, I've noticed this too, and this is just my, if you smile at someone every single day you see them, eventually they're not going to frown as much back, or they're literally just going to randomly smile back because it's like, wow, at a certain point I got to smile back. You know what I'm saying? Or if so, like this dude is cheesy as hell. He's always smiling at me. And, that guy's like always chill. He's always holding the door for me. And eventually they'll hold the door for someone else just because it's like, I just have to, or I just look really bad.
That's exactly right.
So I usually think about that, like that word killing with kindness. I've noticed that when I've been extremely kind to someone, eventually either 1, they leave me alone, or 2, they just organically start picking up. This becomes part of the culture.
Yeah.
So I love this episode. This is wonderful. I'm really happy that we got connected today. I'm so like, I think, like I said, shout out to Todd. He's like 3 for 3. All the people that he's brought into my podcast world have been excellent people, such as yourself. I want the listeners to know where they can keep up with you. So the stage is yours. Shout outs, whoever you want to shout out, and then plugs. Plugs as in your things that you want the listeners to follow up with you, which I'll include in the show notes so that they can follow up with you.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, first I want to shout out to you. Thank you. I've enjoyed this so much, and really made my day today. Thank you. And to Todd, I just loved working with him. I also want to shout out always to my wonderful husband of 30 years. Is that crazy? And our 2 beautiful daughters, because without them, I could never be where I am today in my business. And then my incredible team of men and women all across the United States and Canada that I work with every day. It's a gift what I get to do. So you can find me. So you can go to thelisacox.com for my website, or livecleanlisa.com for my website. Both of those take you to my main website. I would love, and I invite you to follow me on Instagram, which is Lisa Cox Official.
Okay.
And you'll find me there. And then, of course, my Facebook is just Lisa Cox. But I'd love for you to look me up, and I'll follow you back, and we'll just support each other in this fun world. And I thank you so much. I encourage you to do what you can to live your biggest and best life, and let your true self come out. And I encourage you to work on areas where you can work on to level up this next year and take care of you. Don't be just fine, be amazing. Work on your heart and what you're doing. And if I can help you in any way, please reach out to me through those sites. And my email is coxskincare@gmail.com. You're welcome to email me also. But I'm there to help people. I can introduce them to our company and to our products, but I'm happy just to answer any questions also and just chat about what they're doing.
I love that. Thank you so much. So listeners, follow up with her. Like I said, you can't see what I'm saying, but age ain't nothing but a number. You look great. I was like, Jesus, man, I look more beat up than you. I'm way younger. I gotta get my life together. You know what I'm saying? I was like, goodness gracious. But thank you so much. It's a great episode. I think the 4 pockets. If you listen to this episode, write out these 4 and think about which ways you're gonna do in the new year. Hit these 4 pockets of your life: the food, the life, the fitness, and finance. This is great advice. And please, all her information will be in the show notes. Please follow up with her. Give her a follow. Check it out. It's wonderful information. Listeners of the podcast, thank you for listening. You can find me at Positive Filter across everything. If you have any questions for the podcast, leave it to send me a comment or send a voicemail to 571-336-6560. I love to answer questions. We do sometimes Q&A episodes. Maybe even Lisa will throw me some questions and I'll answer them for the podcast. Thank you so much. Much love and peace. Thank you for listening to Positive Filter, a podcast that focuses on family, friends, career, with a little self-help along the way. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share it with your family and friends, and like the Facebook page, Spreading Positivity of Movement. Thanks for listening.